Francisco's district attorney, Harris has focused on fighting serious and violent crime. Under her watch, the felony conviction rate in San Francisco is at its highest in 14 years.
Never in a million years I would have thought that they were going to charge me for Sells' murder. I never talked to no detective, no police officer, no DA, nobody.
Just arrested and then charged.
Arrested and charged, that's it.
Was the first time you saw Kamala Harris in person the day that the verdict was issued?
She showed up at the two most pivotal times in this first trial, and me being convicted and me being sentenced. She wanted to be present for a celebration of a conviction.
That's what it felt like, celebration?
A celebration, that's what it felt like.
Poor hubby. Poor hubby.
A Minnesota bail fund supported by Vice President Kamala Harris during her 2020 campaign helped set an accused domestic abuser free. Now, just weeks after his release, he's back behind bars after prosecutors charged him with murder.
In America's criminal justice system, I actually believe, as a former prosecutor, that Black Lives Matter has been the most significant agent for change within the criminal justice system.
Fire. Nearby businesses ablaze. This is how the night of May 28th unfolded.
A defunding of the police. The Minneapolis City Council just agreed on a bill on this. Right before I came to tape the show, there was a clip on CNN from a Minneapolis City Councilwoman who said, quote, "It's a place of privilege if someone breaking into your home wants to call the police." This is gaining a lot of steam. Nancy Pelosi this morning just refused to answer if she would support defunding the police. I just want to know from you, do you support defunding and removing police from American communities? And if not, why do you think there's such a hard time being differentiated right now between defunding and reforming police departments?
So, Megan, I think that a big part of this conversation really is about reimagining how we do public safety in America, which I support.
Senator, I hear you loud and clear, and I don't think there's any rational American right now who doesn't think that we need to take a cold, hard look at reforming our police. But there was a video that went viral over the weekend of the mayor of Minneapolis being yelled at, saying, yes or no question, are you for defunding the police? So I'm going to ask the same question the protesters asked him. Are you for defunding the police?
How are you defining defund the police?
Abolishing the police. Talk to me about the defund the police movement, and what do you think is the first piece of legislation that should happen towards reforming the police?
So, at its essence, Andy, it really, I believe, is about reimagining public safety and how we achieve it. You know, for far too long, the status quo thinking has been to believe that by putting more police on the street, you're going to have more safety. And that's just wrong.
She's taken some heat for her criminal justice record. So will Kamala Harris address her time as a prosecutor tonight? And how could it impact the campaign going forward? NBC News Now correspondent Dasha Burns looks back at some of Harris's controversial policy decisions.
Reject the false choice.
We can't accept false choices.
False choice, the false choice. It's a false choice.
False choice. That seems to be Kamala Harris's favorite line, and people interpret it in vastly different ways. Either to describe how she refuses to be put in a box, or how she refuses to commit to any particular policy.
Right?
Anything to actually address immigration in this country?
Well, if you're not Native American, we're all immigrants, so let's start there. And I would say that immigration reform and the need for comprehensive immigration reform is the front and center civil rights issue of our day, and certainly California has an outsized stake in the outcome of this issue. We have more immigrants than any other state in the country, documented and undocumented. And the fact that there are folks on this stage and in other places, scapegoating our immigrants is really not in the best interest of our country. So here.
Hundreds force their way onto the Paso del Norte International Bridge. Men, women, and children pushing Mexican soldiers out of the way in an attempt to enter the U.S. It seems they were misinformed, said this Mexican official, telling our Telemundo affiliate they were told they would be allowed into the U.S. once at the port of entry.
We are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making.